has been a very long journey. I started in Kolkata, West Bengal. So my entire schooling has been in Kolkata, West Bengal. And then I did my bachelor's from Presidency College. That was under Calcutta University at that particular point of time. After that, I moved for my master's to IIT Kanpur. And it was there basically I got exposure to the different experimental part of chemistry, and it kind of piqued my interest in the subject. But way before that, I would say that the atmosphere at home was no different. My father had done his PhD in quantum chemistry under the very illustrious Professor Sadhan Basu. So atmosphere at home, you can say, was steeped in all these academic and scholarly pursuits. And my father was an awesome teacher. He was an avid reader, very creative bent of mind. So the entire atmosphere at home was always, regarding science and discussion in science and physics, chemistry, bio. So that's how it went on. So after my masters, what I decided was that I would like to embark on a research career. And during my masters, I incidentally got a fellowship. It was a summer internship which I got at TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai. So I came to Mumbai. That was my first visit to Mumbai. And during those 2 months, that research I did over there, I think that was kind of a turning point. And that kind of tipped the entire scale towards chemistry. That's what happened. Oh, yes. I mean, I was fond of physics and maths. So while growing up, it was always I'm going to do either theoretical chemistry or theoretical physics. I never thought about the experiment part. But when I went to Kanpur, over there we had at that point of time, and this is the period of 1993-95. Now it is so common to have, those 6 months research project and all. At that particular point of time, that was like kind of only IITs used to offer that. So during my masters, we had to do this 6 month project in a lab. So when I was working in that lab, I was into some kind of real intricate synthesis where we were handling all air sensitive, moisture sensitive compounds, and there was a lot of challenge, and I simply liked that. And that is the reason why I thought that okay, why not I apply for a summer internship where I would get even more exposure to even better labs, and so that's why I applied in TIFR, and that is how I came to Mumbai. That was my first visit, of course. After that, a year again, I went back to Kanpur, and then again I came back to Mumbai. Challenges in the sense, I would say that I was very fortunate that in the household where I was actually brought up, I mean, lot of exposure was there for female child. So that way, I mean, I never faced any kind of, I would say, hardships or any kind of roadblocks. I had always a very supportive household which supported female education, who never said that, you can't do this, you can't do that. So that definitely was not there. The challenges were what at that particular point of time, if you are good, because I was a rank holder in my 10th, I was a rank holder in my 12th boards. So general societal thing was that, why not engineering? Why not going for medical studies? Why is she wanting to do, normal general basic chemistry or basic science? Why she wants to go on a research career? So these kind of things were there. But what I thought and what I wanted to do, that is what I did. I chose this path, and I think that is how the entire thing happened. I came to Bombay. It was not a 6 months project. The 6 months project was in IIT Kanpur. That was a part of my master's degree program. The 2 months which I spent in TIFR and I did my research, that work actually led to a publication. We get a journal publications. So at that particular point of time, when I'm talking about 93, 95, I mean, getting a publication even before you complete your master's was completely unheard of. So, because of that work of mine, I was offered a pre placement at TIFR that you please come and do your PhD with us. And along with it, I also got an offer from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. They were also very interested to have me as a PhD student. So obviously, and then in Kanpur and IITs that time, the thing was the trend was that you give your GRE and you go abroad for your PhD. So obviously, all my friends were giving their GRE. I also gave it, and then I got some offers from some very good universities, US. But somehow because of that 2 months, I always tell that that is my turning point. Because of that 2 months I spent, I loved TIFR so much, and I loved the city of Mumbai so much that I thought that no, I would want to do my PhD at TIFR, and so I came to TIFR. But the thing is that after I joined for my PhD, within I think 6 weeks, this advertisement came up from Department of Atomic Energy that they are looking to hire scientists, scientific officers, right after their masters. So this is an ongoing program. It's a very, very tough competition because after masters, I mean, you are getting into a job, which is a class one gazetted officer job. Along with it, you are able to do research, a fully funded PhD, fully funded postdoctoral thing. So it was a very, very competitive thing. So I thought, okay, fine. And I had this nationalist bug in me that, okay, fine, let me work for the government of India. And I appeared for this exam. Somehow I cleared it. And then my journey started. So after that, we had this 1 year, hugely rigorous training program. And then I was given my placement in chemistry group in Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So this is how my journey to research happened. Right after my master's, I got into a job, and with the job, on the job, I did my PhD, my postdoc, and my entire research career, which is now almost 27 years. Yeah. So, as you had already introduced me as a material scientist, so I work in the field of functional materials. So, what is functional materials? Materials which are tailored to have certain functions. In my case, my work is more about materials for energy storage. So, I work in developing various electrode materials for battery technology. So my work is much more related towards sustainability. How? Because right now, if you see, more and more energy resources we are looking forward to is renewable energy resources. So like solar energy, wind energy. So all these kind of different energy, they are intermittent in supply. So all the time during the day, you don't get an equal supply. So at some points there is a peak and some point there is a lull. So whenever there is a peak, what happens is then you need to store that energy because that entire energy which you have converted, you cannot put into the grid immediately. So you need some storage device, and this is where my research comes into the picture. So we've developed these different electrode materials which will be used in these kind of storage technologies, like battery technologies. So mostly lithium ion battery and also sodium ion battery, because sodium ion battery is definitely going to be less. You can say a little bit cheaper solution compared to that of the lithium ion batteries. So my work is mostly related on battery technologies. The excitement is that every day when you are actually entering the lab, the excitement is that you can create something new. Every day can give you that elixir of a material which can really change mankind. So it is like when you are coming back in the evening and when you're actually lying on your bed, you're thinking that you know how to improvise the results, whatever you have got. And next day is going to be another day. And next day you are going to, pick up from the point you had started the previous day, and probably you will get something better. So it's a very, very exciting career, I would say, a career choice where every day whatever you're doing is something new, and every day you're doing something what you love doing. So that's like amazing. That what keeps going. It doesn't change. That's why for 27 years you can actually spend in one organization and never get bored. Yeah, so that's what the answer is right there in your question. You said that they get bored. They get bored because if your work is repetitive, if every day you are doing something which you have done, for the past 1 year, obviously you will get bored. In our kind of field, what is happening, you are working on so many different kinds of materials. So one is giving one kind of property, the other is giving some other kind of property. It is interdisciplinary in nature. You need lot of chemistry knowledge, you need lot of physics knowledge. You are doing so much of modeling, you are using so much of AI now for your work. So every day you are reinventing, every day you are learning something new. So that actually keeps you going. And then again, in this 27 years, it is not that I'm growing with the same bunch of people. Every year we are having some fresh intake, we are having these new people coming in, new ideas coming in. You have to again train those people, you have to teach them what has already been, probably in the lab 5 years back some student has done something, and again this new person comes in, you have to teach him, okay, all that thing plus all that 5 years that other student has done. So it's a wonderful feeling. Every day it is, an exchange of ideas, and you're reading a lot. Whatever is happening in the world, you have to keep yourself abreast. So that is what keeps you ticking, and that is why this 27 years never felt like 27. Yes, there are two ways to look at things. it's better to look into all the positive sides, and I feel that that is the way, I mean, you should actually look forward. But definitely, things cannot be always good, so there have been certain, I would say bumps. I would not say real, kind of speed breakers, but little bumps do happen. One is definitely the way society perceives, the society perceives a woman in a family in a different way, and a career woman again in a different way. But you are the same woman, right? You're the same person who has to balance both the sides. So society is perceive how they are perceiving you, that matters a lot, and how you're balancing it matters. So different times in your career, what happens is you do have to play, a prioritizing game, that what is my priority at that particular point of time and how I can balance it out. So definitely that happens, and those are the different challenges which happen. Sometimes it is something very important at work, something very important has come up, but something in the family also, very important thing, an important event is happening. So that time you nearly have to put in that balance and find out exactly how to handle. Maybe at that particular point of time, it is so much better that you have a support group, who is helping you out and who is managing your affairs a little bit. And then again, when you are back into the forum, you are taking it back from them and you're again performing. So that is the way it should go. So that is what I would like to say about this entire challenges thing. Like very specifically, I can say that, just when I was in my final years of my PhD, I was pregnant at that particular point of time. So that has its own challenges again. Then, when I went for my postdoc, I had to take my 3-year-old daughter with me. And I remember, at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, the cold morning in Germany, I'm carrying her to the creche, dropping her at 4:30 p.m. Again, you have to, get her back, cook dinner, and then, play with her for some time. Then again, deposit her to the landlady, get back into the lab, work till 10 p.m. So all those, those challenges were there, along with it, maintaining your family, maintaining your career. So all those things are there, but everything actually ultimately builds up little by little in bringing, in making the person whatever you are. So we shouldn't allow, all those things to pull you back from doing what you want to do. I would say the organization in which I work in, I'm very fortunate. Department of Atomic Energy, and particularly Bhabha Atomic Research Center, we have a huge pool of talent. So in any field, if you want an expert, to help you or to guide you, I mean, you just have to dial a number. So in-house experts are so many over there. So, and everybody is more or less ready to help if you ask for the help. But definitely I would say one thing, that and I believe it also, that in this kind of career it is very important to be a self starter, in the sense that you should be having that self motivation to work. And then with your motivation, if you want to achieve something, you need to find out the people who can help you with the kind of thing you want to do. And if you're going and knocking at their doors, definitely they will open the doors for you, and they will be really really super helpful to help you achieve that goal. So that way I would say I'm very very happy that I really feel I'm very grateful that I work in this kind of organization, where you will find talents of all kind. So we really nearly need not go outside and look for anything, any help. We do have it at home, at in-house. I'd give you one little example. As when I was starting my work with this functional materials, so this battery and all this energy storage and conversion thing, it comes as a kind of a project with us. So this came to me around 7-8 years back. So absolutely, I had not worked in any energy storage technology or anything at that particular point of time. So, but this challenge was thrown to me that we need these kind of systems to be developed. So, Dimple, will you be able to deliver it? So I said, fine. Because I work with functional materials, so definitely, all these materials will have these functions also. So let me just try it out. So, because I had not much idea about all this entire electrochemical storage and all, so I thought that, who can I call up, and who can I ask, for this kind of what can I do and how can I use this technology. So we had this other person in some other division who was working in not exactly this field but similar to this, and he had some basic equipment, and I had a particular material which was in my mind that, okay, this can be used as, an energy storage material. So I asked him that, okay, I'm not very sure whether this is going to work or not, but can I just test it in your equipment and can I find out whether it is working or not? So then he said, okay, fine, you can come over, you can bring your material, and I'll just show you how to get these experiments done. So I took in my student, we both went in and we did the work, and we found really very good results, which were kind of initially I was not able to understand, but he explained it very nicely to me. And then what happened is that work ultimately got, we ultimately applied for a patent and we got an Indian patent for that particular material. So yes, this is how you keep on dialing and you get help. Oh, this is something I do every day. And I really feel that, when I look back into my career, there were some certain key points, key turning points where I felt that, okay, a little bit of more support would have really made a lot of difference. And all those small key points I remember. And in my lab, whenever I have these project students coming in, women, girls coming in, young girls with so much of, dreams in their eyes, I always ensure that in very, very little ways, small ways, whenever they are in need of help, I do ensure that, they are getting that support when they need it most. Because sometimes what happens is people don't realize that women sometimes need a little more support in certain areas. So those kind of things I always ensure that, in my lab, my PhD students, the training school officers who I coordinate their activities to, project students and all. So all of them know that, okay, if there is anything, even which if it escapes the mind of madam, if we just go and tell it to her, she will ensure, the things are smoothened out a bit for them. So I definitely do that for my students. Yes, there is one famous quote by Albert Einstein I live by, that life is like riding a bicycle. So if you have to balance it, you have to keep moving. So that has been the mantra of my life, to keep reinventing yourself, and always with passage of time add something new to your life. And because if you're adaptable to change, then you can thrive, because change is the only constant. Well, I don't know whether I'm proud of, but I really feel that whatever work I'm doing today is for India, to make India a better place, to have this kind of societal benefits from my work, to work, for my research is more towards sustainability. My materials are more towards, what India should get. Lithium reserves are very less in our country. Very recently, we have got some lithium reserves. So my entire work is based on sodium, which has a lot of reserve in the country. So that way, I feel I'm very proud that I'm contributing to the energy security of the country by working for the country. My younger self at 16, that's a very interesting question. I would definitely like to advise myself at the age of 16, if I now go back to that. Sometimes in life, you really have to make a few choices. So you need not have to be, try to be 100%, in all the different directions you have to be. Sometimes you can let go a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to let go a few things. Sustainable life. Anyway, my research is all full of sustainability. The society in which I live, I ensure, because I was a member of the cooperative society in whichever in the one which I'm living. So I ensured that we get solar panels installed all over, so that we are kind of again conserving energy in that way. I always ensure that 50% to more than 50 to 60% of my shopping is done locally, so that the local produce is used, local things are manufactured, the local manufacturing is being taken care of, so that ultimately the economy, you're sustaining the community also, so that way you're giving back to the community. So these are my two great mantras for sustainability. Self-care routine. One of my You mean how I relax? Okay, that is very easy. I generally read a lot. Not, not science, not the scientific part, but other books also. I do read a lot, whether it is fiction or non-fiction. So that is my go-to thing. I listen to a lot of music. So yes, that is one of the things, and I do run a lot. Running is a passion for me, so I do a lot of running.